Here's a look at a recap of your markets on this Wednesday, the 15th day of October. Feeder cattle futures ended their 8th consecutive day of substantial gains day over day. The nearby October was down almost $3 at one point today. However, towards the close, it clawed back, closing down only 45 cents. So even though the consecutive day-over-day rally may be over, wouldn't say the total rally's over, more like they just took a small breath. The CME Cash Feeder Cattle Index set a new record once again today based on an 800-pound steer up through the 12-state feeding region, 374.47. But what might be slightly more impressive than that is the Missouri Stocker formula. Everyone knows it's October, and we know what October is called around the cattle industry. The Missouri Stocker formula today, $437.77. That was up $8.97 compared to Tuesday. And that Stocker formula in the month of October currently setting less than $1.75 from the all-time record, which is just almost unheard of to see high prices for the year on calves in the month of October. Taking a look at auction barns around the state today, a couple of stick-out sales at Windsor Livestock Auction. They sold 83 head of 679-pound steers at $425, 162 head of 708-pound heifers headed to feed $389.75. Box beef cutout values choice closed up $2.06 at $366.48. Select down $1.39 at $349.16. Those values based on 156 loads of cuts, trimmings, and grinds. The choice select spread at $17.32. Negotiated feedlot trade, still nothing really to develop or establish a market yet this week. Setting at the same place we were this morning, basically nothing happened today. 1,765 head, most of that outside the 5-state feeding region. Texas and Nebraska still at a big goose egg for the week. Iowa only 22 head, and Kansas 215 head. Now, normally we might say that trade would be waiting this week until after the cattle and feed report on Friday, but of course with the government shutdown, that's one of the reports we won't get this month, and that's going to be missed as several analysts and industry officials alike were kind of waiting to see that, as this would have been a quarterly report that would have shown the breakdown between steers and heifers and might have given us some official numbers on whether there was or how much heifer retention might be taking place. Still yet to be seen if we'll get those numbers at a later date or if we'll end up having to wait until the yearly inventory report that won't be published until January. Taking a look at the closing futures on the Mercantile Exchange today, live cattle October up 35 cents at 242.17, December at 246.77 up 27, February at 248.75 up 22. October feeder cattle closed the day at 379.72, down 45 cents. November at 380.67, down 67, and January at 377.85, down 20. Lean hogs for December, 45 cents higher, 83.60. February, 85.70, up 25. And April, 89.32, up 27. Taking a look at the grain markets at the elevators around the state today, corn bids 2 to 3 higher, soybeans steady to 1 lower, and wheat down a penny. Corn bids in the St. Louis region, 428 to 429. Kansas City at 401. Soybean bids in St. Louis, 1011 to 1013. Kansas City at 951 to 961. Wheat bids in St. Louis, 473 to 486. Kansas City at 453. On the Board of Trade, December corn up 3 3/4 at 416 3/4. March at 432 1/4 up 3, and May at 441 up 3. Soybeans for November unchanged at 1006 1/2. January at 1024 1/4 unchanged. March at 1039 3/4 up 1/4 cent. Wheat contracts December 1 1/2 lower, 498 3/4. March down a penny, 5.15 3/4, and May down a penny at 5.27 1/4. Soybean meal for December up $1.60 a ton at 275.90. Soybean oil for December up 23 cents a hundredweight at 50.80. With the Missouri Department of Agriculture, that's a recap of your markets for Wednesday. This is Tony Hancock.